What's going on, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to my channel, Desi Living Life Unapologetically. Sorry. My name is Desiree. If you are new here in today's video, I want to talk to you about why I have decided to do body recomposition. Now, um, I'm not going to get into all of the particulars of body recomposition because I am still learning that myself. But in a future video, probably within the sometime in the second quarter, I will give you a better um, description and understanding of body recomposition. But for what I'm doing, I'm just basically trying to reshape my body by not just losing fat, losing weight, but gaining muscle as well. And as women, I think that's something that we need to do anyway. So I decided to finally get on this health journey once I was free and clear in my mind. Um, some of you know from my previous channels where I've explained that I had a nervous breakdown a few years ago and that I had to go through um, some healing. I had to go through a healing journey, and I'm still in that healing journey. I'm further away from the beginning than I was. And the first thing that I had to do was work on my mental health and work on my emotional health. And once I started working on that, I was able to work on my financial health. And when I was able to finally get that under control, I was able to start working on my spiritual health. Now I'm in a situation where I can put some kind of focus on all of them and not feel overwhelmed. The last thing was for me to begin to focus on my physical health. Now, I have lost weight before. I have lost over 50 pounds before and then turned around because my emotions were not intact, gained that 50 pounds back, plus another 50, plus another 50, and probably another 20. Okay. So, when I made the decision to finally focus on my health, I had to make sure, my physical health, I had to make sure that everything else was taken care of. Not saying that I was the best person with my finances. I was better, and I am better today than I was 10 years ago. I was better and I am better today than I was back before I had my nervous breakdown. Um, as it relates to my spiritual health, I am in a much better position spiritually than I was 5 years ago. I'm in a much better position spiritually than I was 10 years ago. Um, and my emotional health, I am in a much better situation than I was 5 years ago and way better than 10 years ago. So I'm at peace with a lot of things in my life. I'm content with a lot of things in my life. Where my life is, I am content with. And as I approach my 50th birthday, why not stop doing for other people and start doing for me? So since 2021, I have been doing for me slowly, starting with my mental health, then the emotional health, then the financial health, then the spiritual health, now the physical health. Does it take that long? No, but for me, yes, because I had allowed people to dictate to me what I needed to do and what I should do for so long. I never was able to learn. I was not taught to speak up for myself. I was always taught to just do. And if most of y'all know, black families, especially women, black women, you supposed to look out for everybody else before you look after yourself. And if you look after yourself, you're being selfish. You know what I mean? So I had to get over that, and I had to get rid of that strong black woman trope that we all tend to fall up under, especially if you're single or you're a single mom. We all tend, in some way, shape, or form, to fall into that strong black woman trope. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of living up to that strong black woman trope. And for me, being a strong black woman sometimes means you have to be weak. You have to be weak and accept the fact that in some cases you're just weak, and that's just, it is what it is. And I'm not saying weak as in you can't do anything, but I mean weak as in knowing that even though when I'm weak, God is strong, and God is strong in my life. I may feel weak, but I know God is stronger than the way that I feel right now, and He has it. So, okay, let me get back to the body recomp. I'm going somewhere else. So anyway, at the time where I was going through my physical healing, as far as my me getting my walking capabilities back, the orthopedic surgeon did let me know that at some point in time in my life, I'm going to have knee replacement surgery, not just on one knee, but on both my knees. So my left knee, both of my knees at one point in time, I could hear crepitus anytime I walked, especially if I'm on the stairs. I could hear crepitus. But ever since I broke my leg, my right leg, I can no longer hear the crepitus in my right knee, but I can hear it in my left knee. So during the time I was going through my healing and I had the immobilizer on because they were scared to do surgery, y'all, they still won't let me see the x-ray. And at this point, I don't even care. But the way they described it to me is that my tibia basically went up into the fibia. Basically, my leg bone went up to my thigh bone. Okay. And they could have done surgery, but it would have been either a success or failure. And they didn't want to take that chance. So they just put me in an immobilizer. And I was in an immobilizer for 6 weeks. Couldn't put weight on it at all. I was running around my house, well, rolling around my house in a wheelchair and eventually a walker and then eventually a cane. So I had to teach myself how to walk. I had a physical therapist, I had a nurse, I had an occupational therapist here. So I had to teach myself how to walk. The leg that I broke is my dominant leg because that's the leg that I used to drive. So I really had to get it going. And as somebody who is independent, you telling me I got to depend on somebody to come take my trash out? Really? Oh yeah, no, we're not about to do that. Even though I had to just suck it up and ask people to come and get my trash and pull the cans out and come back and pull the cans back in. Luckily, I had a neighbor that was nice enough to do that for me. She was actually home when I broke my leg. She was home when the fire truck and the ambulance showed up. Her and her husband was sitting on the porch, and she noticed I was gone for 3 weeks. My truck was sitting in my driveway for a whole week, window down and everything. So she noticed when I came home in a wheelchair. She noticed the wheelchair ramp and everything. So she did reach out and help, and I'm gratefully appreciative of her to this day. But once I got out of the wheelchair and I was able to put weight on my knee, I had to do a little at a time. I couldn't do too much. And I had to train my brain to not just go back to what I was doing before. So I had to be slow with it. And where I work, it's nothing but concrete. It's concrete all around. So I had to go from wearing heels to wearing flat shoes to gym shoes every day because that concrete is no good on my knee. I built the strength up back in my knee. The bone is stronger. However, behind my patella is where the problem is. So it's I feel the pinch there, a couple times a week, and I have to rest to let it pass. So at that point last year, it got a little bit worse where I thought I was going to have to go back to the surgeon, go to the orthopedic specialist and say, hey, when can I schedule for this surgery? Because this is getting on my nerves. Um, he told me at that point to start working out and to see if that alleviate some of the pain, which it was because I was walking around with 300 pounds on my knee, y'all. 300 pounds on my knee. I was walking around. That's a lot of weight for somebody that's 5'1". I'm sorry, 5'2". Excuse me. For a long time, I thought I was 5'4", but I'm 5'2". 300 pounds is a lot of weight for somebody that's 5'2". So, what I decided to do was the area where I always had trouble was food. Not saying I didn't know what to eat, I just didn't know how to eat it. And one of the things that I was trained to believe is that you can't eat rice, you can't eat pasta, you can't eat potatoes. When I began to research body recomp, they said the complete opposite. The complete opposite. You can eat rice, you can eat potatoes, you can eat pasta. I'm watching videos online of these bodybuilders, y'all. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, but I was watching these videos on YouTube of bodybuilders and of other people in the fitness industry or want to be in the fitness industry, what have you. And I was looking at what they were eating, and I'm like, if they went from that to this, how come I can't do it? So what I started to do was I started researching body recomp while I was just focusing on the food that I ate. So, ooh, this wind is no joke. So I focused on making sure I did meal preps. So I had to learn when is the best day for me to do a meal prep. I know I've seen people on YouTube who would do meal preps and they would do meal preps for like 3 days because they'll put the food in the refrigerator. Me, I can't do that. I cannot do that. I learned quickly that there's no way I can do a meal prep for 3 days And that's that. If I'm going to do a meal prep, I'm going all out. So when I do a meal prep, I find the best day for me to do a meal prep, and then I cook everything that day. There may be times where I'm not able to cook everything on one day, but I can cook the majority of it on one day and cook the rest the next day. I meal prep for 5 to 6 days a week. I definitely meal prep for my breakfast and lunches when for the days that I go to work. I definitely meal prep for that. So that means when I cook them, they go in the freezer and they stay in the freezer until it's time for me to take them out every single day and thaw them out and go with that. I have been enjoying that to the point that I forget that I need to also include Saturdays and Sundays in my meal prep because I completely forget that I got to eat dinner on Saturday, that I got to eat dinner on Sunday. I completely forget it because most of the time I'll have a yogurt bowl and I'm good. I may have 2 yogurt bowls in a day and I'm good. I don't need to eat anything. But meal prepping was the first thing that I started doing other than researching body recomp, researching the best things for me as a woman who was 300 pounds, well, actually, I think I had lost weight at that time. I think I was down to like 290, 298. Well, 300 pounds, 298 was the difference. But when I went to the doctor after I started the meal prepping and started to pay attention to what I was eating, I had lost 5 pounds. So I started my body recomp technically at 293 pounds. I don't know how much I weigh today because it's been fluctuating since I met this plateau, but I've been sitting at 267, 268 pounds for like a month. Okay. Part of that is my fault because in November, the week before Thanksgiving, I just stopped working out. And then, of course, the week of Thanksgiving, I wasn't working out. The week after Thanksgiving, I wasn't working out. I rarely worked out in December. I was eating a lot. I was eating McDonald's. And yeah, I was eating McDonald's I'm not going to say quite often, but from not eating it to going on and eating it, maybe about 5, 6 times in the entire month of December. And then January, I got sick. I was pretty much sick the entire month of January. And I think that month, maybe once or twice, I had McDonald's, but I was still eating what I was supposed to eat. But I had McDonald's, like I said, once or twice. I had ice cream, I had cookies, and I was not moving. I was not working out. But February came and I got right back into it. The meal prepping was on point again. I was working out, and then I went from working out almost every day to saying I'm going to work out 1 week 4 days, 3 days the next week, and I would just alternate, and I would ensure that I'll have a particular workout that I do every day. So one day I'll focus on upper body. The next day I will focus on lower body. Another day I will focus on cardio and core, and another day I will do full body. Then it got to a point I was like, let me see for a week where I can just mix all of that up every workout and see how that works out for me. And to me, that was too scatterbrained. I am a planner. I have to plan out my workouts and know exactly what I'm going to do. Unless I decide while I'm doing upper body, if I want to do some squats, then okay, I can throw that in. But my focus is upper body for that day. So I've been working on that and I've been okay. I've noticed for me that it takes about 2 weeks before I can see a slight change in how my body is shaped and how my body is looking. It takes 2 weeks. So from the workouts that I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, I won't see that until the end of March. I won't be able to see that. And I've been noticing that since last year, that every 2 weeks I'll notice a slight change. But I do notice a change when I put on clothes that I haven't worn in a while. Like this shirt I have on, I wore this to work today. My what is this? National Conference Championship shirt with the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. Unfortunately, we lost that game, but that's okay. Um, when I first bought this shirt, I fit this shirt very, very well. Now it's loose on me. Not real loose like that Tupac shirt that y'all seen in that last workout, in the workout in the life or whatever it was I called it. It ain't loose like that, but it's loose. Okay, it's loose, and I'm like, wow, okay. Then I have some shorts that I bought that around the thigh area it's a lot looser, because that's one of the things that I have really been focusing in on, is that it never looked like I was losing any inches or losing any weight off my thighs. But me putting on those shorts, baby, yeah, I've seen it, because my thighs have stretched those shorts out, and now I can just take my hand and stick my hand right up the side of my shorts with no problem. So now I know that my thighs are slimming down, from the outside. The inside, they are slimming down. A lot of the creases that I have on my thighs, they are beginning to thin out by me working on the walking on the stairs and things of that sort. My endurance is getting better on the stairs, although it's going to take me a long time in order to be on the stairs and not stop for 10 minutes straight. It's going to take me a long time because I'm asthmatic, and of course I'm overweight. It's okay. The fact that I'm getting on the stairs and I done got up to where I can go 3 minutes and really not stop, unless for some reason something is causing me to stop, like my knee, or I may have gotten on the elliptical first before getting on the stairs and I wore myself out that way. Side note, now I understand why people say the elliptical is boring. I love the elliptical. I do. I absolutely love the elliptical. But when I was on it the other day, I was like, I can't wait to get up off this thing. This don't even make no sense, because I really wanted to get on the stairs, but I couldn't get on the stairs that day because I was focused on cardio. It was cardio and core. But anyway, body recomp for me, reading up on it a little bit, y'all, my waistline has come down. I can see my shape more. I'm building muscle. I have some muscle showing up in my calves, in my left calf. There's a little bit of muscle showing in my right calf, but because of the muscle loss due to me breaking my leg, that atrophy has set in, and I don't know if I need to do any more, um or I don't know if I should do anymore, because when I looked at my legs on when Tuesday and Wednesday while I was working out, I was looking at the video, and I didn't say this in the video, but I noticed how my right leg, the muscle, the calf muscle, was smaller than the calf muscle on my left leg. And I pushed the same amount of weight using the old school leg press, because we have two. We have a newer version of the leg press and we have the old school leg press. I prefer the old school leg press. And I've been pushing 120 pounds. I think I got up to 130 pounds um the other day, and it's like I see the definition in both of my calf muscles, but it's greater in my left one than it is in my right one. And what I don't want to do is have a deformed looking leg. So I think I'm going to continue for the rest of this month and be on the leg press, get on both of them. And then at the end of this month, I will make the decision if I will get back on the leg press. And if I do, it won't be the old model or the old version, it'll be the newer one. Because I'm really, with the newer leg press, it's, for me, I don't look at it as it's doing anything for my calves. Maybe just strengthening up my knees, strengthening up my legs, but really not forming a muscle, any more muscle on my calf. If that makes any sense, y'all, okay? Don't come at me, y'all that's in the fitness industry. Do not come at me, because I'm not trying to do what y'all doing. I'm just trying to be a more healthier version of me. I'm trying to take down weight, so when I do have to have knee surgery, I don't have an extra long recovery. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm scared to go up under the knife. I've been up under the knife for surgery on my wrist before. Uh, I shouldn't say up under the knife like that. I'm scared to go up under anesthesia. I've been up under anesthesia twice. Both times it was propofol, and if you know anything about the propofol is what took MJ out. And the first time I got the propofol, they gave me a whole lot because I was a whole lot of weight. And when I saw how much they gave me, I was shocked that I was able to wake up, and I knew that that was God. When I got it again to have surgery on my wrist 2 years ago, they gave me almost the same amount. That was only God that allowed me to wake up. Now the dumb stuff I said out of my mouth, uh when I came to, that wasn't God, but I mean, it wasn't anything derogatory. It wasn't anything. But it was dumb. It was funny because they were like, we've never had anybody just come out of outpatient surgery, just out of anesthesia, and say, "What's my SpO2?" I had everybody laughing in that place. Like, did she just sit up? I mean, I literally just sat straight up out of that bed and said, "What's my SpO2?" And then laid right back down like I didn't say nothing. Oh my God. And I remember saying it, and I had to question them like, did I actually sit up and say something about SpO2? And they started laughing. They said, yes, you did. And how you remember that, we do not know. But anyway, I'm enjoying this body recomp. I'm just not enjoying being on a body recomp plateau. And I had to look that up to see if that's what was going on. And what a body recomp plateau is basically my body has gotten used to the calories that I take in and has gotten used to the exercises that I do. So, or the muscle building. So I got to do something. So now what I got to do is go back to I have to increase my protein. I honestly don't know how much protein I was taking in every day because I don't go by what people tell you or what you research and they tell you what you need to eat. I go by how I feel. And I know if I eat too much, I'm not going to do a whole lot. But this time I have to eat more protein than I care to on a daily basis. So that means I have to increase the intensity of my workouts, which means my workouts might be a little longer because I like to do a lot of different workouts when I'm working out straight up. Sometimes I can be in the gym 2 hours. There was one time I was in the gym when I had a membership to Planet Fitness. I was in the gym for 3 hours and didn't even know it. Had no idea I was in the gym that long because I was so into doing my workout. Um, I was so focused on that. But anyway, so I got to get back to weighing my food, weighing out the meats that I eat. And there's no issue with what I eat. I just don't eat enough protein. So I can only get my protein in with chicken, turkey, and eggs for the most part. And if I can find something else that has protein in it, I will try that. I cannot have seafood. I am severely and fatally is the word I'm going to use, allergic to seafood. So don't put that in there. I'm not a vegan. I ain't trying to be. I'm a carnivore. Period. Okay, so it's gonna be chicken, lean ground turkey, lean ground beef over here. It's been like, well, I've been getting into the lean ground beef and the lean ground chicken since October last year, but I've been doing turkey and chicken basically since I started. But it's the lean ground beef. And I actually like the lean ground beef now better than the regular 80/20. If I can find, I normally find a 96/4, but if I can find like a 98/2, that would even be better. But I just wanted to share that with you all of why I decided to do body recomp. I am doing some more research so I can bring you a little bit more information. I'm not a professional. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor. I'm not nobody. I'm just somebody that wants to be better in my health and take more control of my health and my physical fitness. I'm not trying to be a size 2. I love being a plus size girly. I do. Okay. But if I can be a healthy version of being a plus size girly, then that's even better. Because, baby, I have an overall goal and I have a long way to get there. But once I get to that mid goal, and if I think I'm okay there, then I may stop there. But right now, I'm glad I'm going the route that I'm going. I spoke to my doctor last year when I did my physical, and she mentioned to me about Ozempic and other weight loss medications, and I told her absolutely not. I said if it I'm not diabetic. I don't have anything going on with me that would require me to take Ozempic or any of these terzipidides or whatever you want to call them, these GLPs. So I do not want to do that. I would rather for people who really need them to take them. I put the weight on. I put the weight on by eating foods at an alarming rate for me, being doing a lot of emotional eating, a lot of stress eating, I put the weight on. So I have to deal with the consequences. And with that, since I know I put the weight on, I'm going to take the weight off, and I'm not going to take an easy way, an easy route out. Now, I know some people may say, well, it's not easy to give yourself a shot. It's not easy, to do that. You're right. I know it's not easy. I have allergies. I just told you I have, severe fatal allergies to seafood and peanuts. So I have to walk around with the EpiPen, and I have to give myself a shot if I come in contact with something that I should not consume. I don't like doing that. Have I ever done it? One time I've done it. And the only way I was able to do it is I could not breathe at all. And it was either you going to give yourself a shot or you're going to be closing your eyes for the rest of your life. And I had to do it. So I understand how it's not comfortable giving yourself a shot. That's another reason why I ain't trying to do it. I'm not going to take the easy way out. And I'm not saying it's the easy way, but for some people it is the easy way. But for me, I understand I gained the weight from doing a lot of emotional eating, not, taking accountability for the things that I done to put myself in the situation. And I have been working on that. That's why I had to start with my mental health first. Once you get your mental health and emotional health in place, can't nothing stop you from losing weight if that's what you want to do. Nothing can stop you. You have to get your mind right first, and that's the one thing that I learned, at least about me. I had to get my mind right first. I had to get out of myself and see what it was and say, okay, Desiree, you did that to you. Didn't nobody else do that to you? You did that to you. Yeah, there was a situation that came up, but at the end of the day, you made the decision to go to Burger King not once, but twice in the same day. You made the decision the next day to go to Burger King once and then to go to Wendy's twice. The next day, you went to two fast food restaurants 3 times in one day. You made that decision based upon the fact that you don't know how to control your emotions. That's on you. That is on you. You can take these medications all you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't get your emotions in check, if you don't get your mental health in check, those medications are not going to do anything, because you are still going to continuously to emotionally eat and to overeat, to stuff your feelings and all this other stuff. And that's what I was doing, consuming my feelings in food that I thought was comfort. But at the end of the day, it did nothing but put extra fat and calories and everything else on me. And baby, like I'm not trying to go out like that. I'm sorry. I will be 50 in 29 days. I'll be 50 years old, and I want to look good for my 50th birthday. Am I going to be 180 pounds on my 50th birthday? Absolutely not. But am I going to look a lot better on my 50th birthday than I did on my 49th birthday and on my 48th birthday? Absolutely. I guarantee you that. Anyway, y'all, with that, that's all I wanted to share with you in this video, why I chose to do the body recomp instead of just lose weight. It's important for women to build muscle. We always think, I don't know why women, we gravitate to the treadmill and to the elliptical and to the stairs when we're working out. We always gravitate to the cardio machines. We tend to stay away from the weights. But baby, there's nothing wrong with the weights. I love the weights. These jokers I work with, they were shocked when they saw me get on the weights for the first time. They were like, "Oh, I didn't know you did that." Yeah, I will get on the weights in a minute. I will pick up a dumbbell in a minute, okay? I will push some weight. I will do so. And I have become close to addicted to lifting weights than anything, but not so much that I'm trying to bulk up or trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm just trying to get my body to look better. I'm trying to do a recomposition of my body so that the weight and the way my body is shaped matches. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, with that, y'all, I will see you in another video. Hopefully, this wind done calmed down to the point it has stopped. I hope. I doubt it stopped. I don't have my glasses on, so I can barely tell if the wind is still blowing or not. But I hope it stopped. Let me go get my laundry together so I can get that done tomorrow. And I will see y'all in another video. Take care. Bye.